Hello and welcome to the Flower Academy tutorial. In this video we will create the mistletoe plant. The mistletoe is recognized by its smooth-edged oval evergreen leaves borne in pairs along the woody stem and the waxy white berries in dense clusters of 2 to 6. The mistletoe was seen as a representation of divine male essence, thus romance, fertility, and vitality, and this may have led to a custom of kissing under the mistletoe plant during the Christmas season, a custom that was apparently very popular at that time. Since we heard that the mistletoe tree is in danger of disappearing over the next 20 years, we decided to include it in this tutorial, and then you can make your own and have as many as you want. For the project, we will need a corresponding paper and wire number 24, 26, or 28 gauge, a teardrop shape cutter. You will need your foam pad, a knitting needle, and our ball tools. Use green clay that was rolled to setting number 4 in the pasta machine. Don't use a thinner setting, or it will be very difficult to insert the wire into it. Cut the amount of leaves you will need. Obviously, we will need more than 2, but they will be enough for the demonstration. We will need green clay, thin snake, to cover our wire. This will be the leaf stem. Insert the snake onto the wire and roll it on your hand to thin it out, or you can do that carefully on your surface. We don't need the whole length. We need one edge to be attached to the leaf and the other edge will be attached to the stem. Next is working your leaf on the foam pad. Place some cornstarch to prevent the clay from sticking to your ball tool. We want to thin out the leaf and make it a bit longer. Leave the edge thick so it will be easier to insert the wire later. Even if you have a different cutter, you can stretch the clay a bit to fit the shape. As you can see, we have different cutters. You can use either, but make sure that your leaf resembles the one in nature. Place your ball tool half on the clay and half on the foam pad. You want to thin out the edges. If you work on the clay, you will get an indent, and you don't actually thin out the petal or leaf. When your leaf is ready, we can insert the wire from the tip. Thinning out the stem a bit. And this should be inserted into the leaf. Work gently while inserting your wire into the leaf. The clay is thin and it may tear. Go about halfway or a bit more. You can hold your leaf with your finger and thumb, making sure the wire is slowly inserted into the clay without tearing it. Use a coarse sanding paper for texturing your leaves. Press lightly so it will not stick. Now use a knitting needle to press down the center of the leaf all the way to the tip. Be careful not to expose the wire inside. If your clay does break or tear a bit, you can add a dot of clay, place it, and then smooth it out with a knitting needle to fix it. Now, no leaf is totally flat, so give it some volume. You can bend it a bit. The leaves are arranged in twos, so you're going to have two of them, and then they are connected to one stem, then added to another stem, which is also connected to two, and so forth. The next step is creating our mistletoe fruits or berries made of translucent clay. Later, we will give them pearl accent. You can use translucent or pearl clay. Their size is about a pea-sized ball. They should be relevant to the size of your leaves. Their size is about a third of your leaf size. To create the fruits, you will need number 26 or 28 gauge wire. Create a hook, a loop hook, with your round nose pliers. The hook should be opened a bit. You don't want to close it all the way to the end. The fruit or the berry will be hanged on it. Use a needle tool to pre-drill a hole. This will prevent the ball from distorting its shape. Twisting the ball on the needle tool and keeping its nice rounded shape. Then insert the wire. Push it through the hole we created and pull it down so that the hook is attached well. We don't want to clearly see it, but it will not disappear completely. We will add something on top of the berry. For the top part on the berries, use a tiny piece of yellow clay. Make a round ball and flatten it a bit. Attach it to the top of the ball. We want to hide the top area of the wire. This is where the hook was inserted. Now it looks as if it is not centered, but this is not very important because they will be connected to the stems. Now use your tweezers for the next step, pinching the yellow top. You don't have to do this step, but it will look much more realistic. We will create 3 pinches. You can also enhance this yellow area after with some dust, green, or a tiny dot of acrylic paint. Pinching 3 times all around that tiny yellow ball. To pearl your ball fruits, we can paint them with pearl acrylic paints or with pearl powder. This one, for example, is pearl eyeshadow. The balls are uncured, so the powder sticks better to uncured clay. Use a soft brush and dust it all around, leaving the yellow top area undusted. When finished, you can add pearl or white stripes using a very thin brush. Repeat this 3 to 5 times with each fruit. Use a small ball tool and add a tiny dot of black acrylic paint on the top of your fruit. Bake your fruits and leaves before we can continue to the next step. Now we want to assemble all the mistletoe parts, starting from the fruits. We will create 3 batches of fruits. Wrap each of your fruit with floral tape to cover its wire. We will use a thicker wire, number 18 gauge, pre-interweaved with the same floral tape we are about to use with our fruits. We will attach to the wire the first 3 fruits. When they're ready, wrap them with floral tape. The floral tape is an adhesive floral tape. You have to pull it to extract its glue. You can add more of these fruits and keep wrapping them with your floral tape to secure them in place. Make 2 more sets of these and then we can continue. So 3 of the clusters are ready. Now we want to attach our leaves to the stems. We will need 2 leaves on each stem and then we will attach them together. We need to shorten them a little. They are a bit long. They should be attached at this distance. So we will cut the baked clay carefully with a scalpel. Make sure you are not cutting the wire. Make a cut on all sides and detach the baked clay. If this happens and your leaf is detaching its wire, you can add some glue and place the wire back in place. This is white plastic glue. Now we will shorten the second one. When the first two leaves are ready, take a piece of floral tape, pull to extract the glue, and place on the wrapped wire on the clay and work your way down, covering the thick green wire. Use tweezers or your fingers carefully to arrange your mistletoe leaves. Repeat these steps. You should have quite a few couples of these. They can be opened or more closed. And then we can move on to connecting our leaves and fruits. We will attach our fruits to the leaves by placing them a bit higher on the leaf stem. Usually they are lower, but we want to create something you can use at home. Arch the stem a bit and place your fruits. Attach the first cluster with floral tape and then attach the second pair of leaves. Secure with floral tape and add the third pair. If your floral tape tears, don't worry, take a new strap and continue where you stopped. You could have a longer stem, but it's up to you depending on what you are about to do with the mistletoe plant. Do the same with the other leaves and fruits to create a second set. The final step is to attach all branches together. Once again, use your floral tape as an adhesive. We will tie a ribbon here later, so this is a temporary solution for attaching all three branches together. When you're finished, make sure all the leaves are on the correct direction, and you can add a red ribbon. That's it, you're finished. You can use your beautiful mistletoe plant hanged in your home or give it as a gift to your loved ones. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you in the next videos.